Cut the crap. To my father. You are the best father that maybe I possibly could have ever had. Because, well, you were my only father. And you taken care of me and my sister. And we were one happy family. And you did everything for us, and you were there for us, right? You took us to a great school, and for that, I will be forever grateful that you spent your entire life just for us. I just want to let you know that I am grateful. I am very, very, very grateful for everything you've done for me and my family and my sister, most of all. Thank you for dedicating your time. Thank you for always being there for me. Always pushing me to be harder. Always trying to push me to the very best. I thank you. And I will always love you as my father. With that being said, I want to formally accuse you, Father, of being an abuser of both me and my sister. I will always love you as my father, even if you've done horrific things to me. You will always be my father. But there are some things that I've tolerated with your actions. There are certain things that I've tolerated that you've done to my sister and I. But today is the day that I cannot tolerate such things that you've done to both me and my sister. That you've affected both of us. And here's my accusation. I accuse my own father of domestic violence and assault. This is a very, very, very formal, very, very, very serious, very formal accusation. I can't take this accusation lightly. Because if I do, once I turn 18, I might be tried. I might go to jail if I'm proven guilty. I might even be tried as a minor. And I might even be hitting the slammers. I am risking everything. I am risking my name, my pride. I am risking everything. I am risking everything. I am risking everything to uphold this accusation. I understand how serious this accusation is. I understand. I wholeheartedly do. In fact, I didn't even want to make this video. I honestly wanted to just report this to the authorities instead, but like I said before, I love you as my father. And I can't see my own father going to jail because of me. I can't see that. Despite what you have done to us, Father, despite what you have done to me, you're still my father, and I can't bear the courage to talk with the proper authorities because a family is everything, right? 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 I suppose so. So instead, I just want to just let the entire world know of what you've done to us. And what happens, happens. To know if my father is truly guilty of being an abuser and being a person of wielding of domestic violence and assault. I can't provide much, but I can only provide stories because this is my account of my experience with him. Generally, I've always lived in fear of him. I have lived in fear of my own parent, of both of my parents, but especially you, Father. I have been very, 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 very scared. I've been living in fear of my own life. I've been living in fear of my own life. I've been living in fear of my own life. I'm sorry. I don't want to act unprofessional now. Every day could be the last day for me. And not just me, but also my sister, but also everybody close to me. Every day. There was this one time where we were in the car, right? We were in the car. I previously, before being in the car, threw away some plastic. Threw away some plastic tray that holded my lunch. Yes. And, I threw it away, and then I, got in the car with my father. And we went about, going home. And my father asks me, Austin, do you have that plastic tray? I lied to him, saying no, or yes, I have the tray. And then he asked the question again after about 5 minutes. And then I admit, yeah, I threw it away. Never mind. I threw it away. And so what does he do? What does my own father do to me? My own father, he beat the living daylight out of me. He hurted me. He assaulted me while we were in this car. He couldn't do much because he was driving, but he was sending fists over my face, and I had to take it because if I were to fight back against my own father, well, first off, morally, I don't think I could ever do that. And also, secondly, I do not need other people that were in the car, for example, my sister, to be involved. He was targeting me, and so I had to stay silent. So he punched me. He slapped me in the car with his one hand, with the other hand driving the steering wheel. And then he starts verbally abusing me. He starts calling me a piece of shit. He starts calling me scum. He starts disowning me. He starts throwing insults at me, calling me a worthless piece of calling me a worthless pig, calling me something so awful that even dogs would eat it. Something so crap that I'm worse than a dog. That is what he said to me. And, of course, normally, if somebody else tells me this, I would just shrug it off, because after all, it is somebody else. But my own parent, the flesh and blood that I came from, my creator, my own parent said this to me. And I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it. I couldn't. I couldn't take it. And so I just cried, and he just abuses me over and over and over and over and over again, and I just can't talk about it anymore. But and then afterwards he starts playing nice, and then he's like, Austin, you should have just told me upright about the plastic, alright? I'm sorry for being angry about plastic, but money is everything. I will admit, I will admit that maybe lying to my own dad is not necessarily a good thing. I will admit that right here and now. I shouldn't have done that. I should have told him to be honest. But if it is okay, if it is applicable for me to do so, if it is appropriate for me to do so, I would also like to tell my version of the story, because that is his version of the story. My version of the story is, I threw away that plastic not because of malicious intent, but because I really wasn't thinking about this plastic tray. So I just kind of threw it along with this plastic bag that I had it in. I wasn't really thinking about it too much. And if I did think about it, I was like, it's just plastic, it was whatever. To be fair, that was careless of me. Even if it is just plastic, I should not be throwing stuff away. I should be reusing them. After all, I should not be wasting them. I understand that. I understand that fully. I understand. And also, lying to my parents is not the best thing in the world. I should not be doing that, and I full-heartedly understand it. I understand my punishment. I just didn't understand the severity of it. I didn't realize that losing some plastic was what was almost the thing that got me killed in that car ride. I understood that I deserved to be punished for what I did. But I didn't understand why I had to be beaten up. Why you had to hurt my pride so much, Father. Why you had to hurt my pride so much that I live in depression every day because of the household that I was raised in. I don't understand. Is it normal for parents to do this? Because I don't feel like your son whenever you treat me this way, Father. I feel like some shit that you just stepped on. That is how I've always been treated. And after this incident, I've realized that you complaining over some plastic and beating the living daylight out of me in front of my own sister, I realized how messed up that was. I mean, I've always understood that you've always had this personality where if I disobeyed because I've become rebellious that day, you would beat the living crap out of me, and you would do the same thing to my sister if she felt rebellious one day. There was no stern talking. And there was only just verbal abuse, domestic violence, and sometimes assault. I probably don't even understand any of those terms. I probably don't understand those legality terms. Maybe he didn't do that. But what I felt over these past 17 years of my life is that this kind of behavior from my own father is unacceptable. And I'm calling him out on it. Because if I were to call him out on it in private, he would beat the crap out of me. I understand that this matter shouldn't really not be on the internet. I understand that fully. This is a family affair, and I should not bring this into the internet. But I have no choice. I have no choice. My father and I can't talk, because every time I even talk back to him even once about the behavior he has, he just gets upset and just treats me like the most absolute shit. He treats shit better than me. That is how awful I feel, both emotionally and physically. There are times where he would beat me so bad, I would have marks. I would have marks on my hands, on my ass, on my thighs. on my chest, on my back. And whenever people have to explain, not people, when people wonder why I have these marks, I always tell them, oh, I just fell. Oh, I just got a cut. Even now, I can't even come up with an excuse if somebody were to tell me this. I have to always come up with an excuse for my own father, for the way he beats me. And one time, I was going to tell somebody. I was going to tell my teachers, my principal. But he ended up threatening my life. He ended up threatening my security. He ended up threatening my possessions. Everything that I've worked hard. He would break it. Everything that I've earned rightfully, like working a part-time job, he would break it. He would break my spine in half if he even got the chance to. I'm trying to hold in my emotions right now. I am sorry if I got a little too upset. I'm sorry if my face doesn't necessarily isn't portrayed in the most respectful way, but it is a very difficult subject for me to talk about right now. I just have so much trauma. I don't know if what he did is correct, but I don't want to have to live in fear of my own safety. Losing everything I have, losing my loved ones, because all I did was just be a little rebellious. I don't understand. Why, Father? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that I've hurt against you. I'm sorry for being a rebellious teenager. I'm truly sorry. I always try to make it up to you, but every time I make it up to you, you don't care. You don't care if you don't care if I ever say sorry or if I ever make it up to you. If I ever do good on my grades, you just don't care. And if I do the slightest thing, like, for example, forgetting to wipe down the tables and one day do the dishes, you would just end up beating the crap out of me. Or at the very least, on a good day, you just threaten to. Why does this have to be the case, Father? Every time I bring this up to you, you just ignore me and just tell me that I'm talking back to you. I do not wish to talk back to you, Father. I do not wish to talk back to you, but you leave me no other choice but to make this video, because if I talk to you about it, you just telling me that I'm talking back and you just laugh the crap out of me. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do anymore. And this is the final straw. I'm sorry for throwing away an item, and I truly regret it, but it was an accident. But knowing you, if I were to tell you that it was an accident, you'd probably beat me up even more. I could sense that from you. I am sorry. I am truly, truly sorry. But this isn't the first time, Dad. Father. This isn't the first time. We got into a fight one time. And you beated me. And I had no choice but to fight back because I was so angry. But you still beated me nonetheless. Stripped me of my own clothes. And my sister, who was there for me, she had to call the police. And the police came to our own home just to fucking arrest you. But when you came back from county, you came back from the county jail, and we paid the bail for you to come back home. Your apology was, this is not verbatim, but this was pretty similar. I am sorry. I'm sorry, you guys, for what I've done to you. But at the end of the day, I am still your father. So I have all the power around here. Yes, I will say sorry, but I have all the power around here, and you can't boss me around. Father, I look up to you. Or at least I used to look up to you. But why is it that that one time you got arrested and you came back, this was the only apology that you gave me? And quite frankly, this apology, I respectfully might add, is so missing the point. The point of an apology is to reconcile with the other person and to ask for forgiveness. So that way you two might be together again. So that way we might become a whole family again. But defending yourself in an apology is not an apology, Dad. Father, please. I say this respectfully because I don't know how else to say this. If I speak to you even once, you just give me the most murderous stare. And I am honestly scared for my life. And if I fight back, I just look like some disrespectful son. And I did it once, and the police end up getting involved between you and me. I don't want to be some rebellious son. I don't want to be. I'm sorry if you were hurt anyway because of me. I am truly sorry. I'm truly sorry. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I wish we could talk it out, but your sense of inferiority and your compulsion for superiority is apparently too much for you, I guess. And if you ever do watch this video, Father, I am truly sorry. But I want the internet to know about what you've done to me. This is only a little bit of what you've done to me. I've only explained a little bit. I've only explained a little bit of what you've done to me all these 17 years of my life. But I know that if you were to watch this video, you can count countless times of where you would beat me and my sister for just being little kids. I am sorry for not understanding your teachings properly, and I always try to learn the moral of the story. I always try to be a better person because of you. What I said in the beginning was not wrong. I looked up to you at one point, and you helped me to become a better person. Because of your pushing, I like to think that I'm a better person. But sometimes I wished there wasn't so much beating, so much verbal abuse involved in our relationship. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much. My name is Austin. Austin Vu. My age, I'm 17 years old. It's 6:58, August 31st, 2022. And I hope that there is some way for you to understand. Because if this is the only way for you to understand, then it must be done. Thank you.